NTA International News.
President Buhari describes Nigeria's relations with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as mutually beneficial. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Paris advocates united action in winning the war against corruption. Plight of Nigerian pensioners. House of Representatives invites Ministers of Budget, National Planning and Finance to brief members. Federal government and IFAD develop strategy to improve rice production in Nigeria. Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to NTA International News this hour. I'm Nancy Godi Angunihu. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed Nigeria's deep appreciation over its relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, describing it as mutually beneficial. The president stated this while receiving the outgoing ambassador of the Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia, Fahad bin Abdallah Sefian, on a farewell visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who described the relationship between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia as strong, said apart from visiting Mecca and Medina for spiritual upliftment, a lot of Nigerians also patronize Saudi Arabian universities. The mutually beneficial relationship, he said, will grow stronger in years to come as the two countries are already collaborating in other areas of common interest. The president expressed delight that the Nigerian economy is gradually reviving as a result of the various policy initiatives, including the Agricultural Revolution program, describing the last farming season as quite good. The outgoing Saudi Arabian ambassador, Fahad bin Abdullah Sefian, who spent 20 months on tour of duty in Nigeria, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the bold steps taken in confronting the Boko Haram insurgency, which he described as part of Nigeria's fundamental problems. Reflecting on President Buhari's successful visit to Saudi Kingdom on the invitation of King Salman in February last year, the envoy said such exchange of visits by the leaders should be sustained in the interests of both countries. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has advocated united action in winning the war against corruption. The Vice President, who spoke at Anti-Corruption Forum in Paris under the auspices of Organization for Economic Cooperation and Integrity, recognized that collaboration is the smartest approach to restitution of stolen assets in the fight against the menace. He pointed out that with rigorous enforcement of rules, the promotion of transparency in international banking and financial systems cannot be achieved in the anti-corruption crusade. The Vice President therefore said that countries hosting global financial centers and other usually targeted destinations of illicit flows must be held more accountable to enforce mechanisms which ensure transparency of ownership, control, beneficial ownerships, trusts and other legal contrivances that may be used to camouflage financial or other assets. On the fight against corruption in Nigeria, the Vice President said the government has ratified a treaty on the ECOWAS Tax Administration Forum, which would open the way for greater cooperation amongst West African states and the exchange of tax information. He said, apart from constituting a 7-man presidential advisory committee against corruption, the administration also established an anti-corruption and criminal justice reform fund with the support of 3 international development partners. The whistleblower initiative, launched barely 8 weeks ago, the Vice President said has achieved great success and attracted commendations both locally and internationally. The Senate has passed the report of the Committee on INEC. While considering clause-by-clause provisions of the report in the Committee of the Whole, the plenary authenticates the use of any other technology devised by INEC that would help curtail rigging. Eventualities like death of candidates during election were also considered and passed up.
On new areas which I believe will improve the credibility of our election, and also by so doing definitely improve our democracy and our good governance.
Moving on to the House of Representatives, which has resolved to invite the Ministers of Budget, National Planning and Finance to brief members on measures to address the plight of Nigerian pensioners. This came in a motion moved by Representative Hassan Shekarau. Ignatius Nkwo is standing by to tell us more.
Well, yesterday the Speaker met with Nigerian Union of Pensioners in his office, where he assured them that the House would meet with relevant authorities to ensure that their plight is being addressed. And that is why the Chairman House Committee on Pension, Representative Hassan Shekarau, brought this motion on the floor today. He's here to tell us actually what the House expects from this meeting with the ministers. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Ignatius. As you rightly said it all, the motion comes as a result of the meeting with the Speaker and Nigerian Union of Pensioners. From the discussions, it becomes obvious that to tackle the challenge of Nigerian pensioners, the need to invite the two ministers of finance and budget and planning is paramount. This is the only way that we can have a correct information, and then, as I put it in the motion, that it's no longer a blame game. The essence is that for the collaboration between the executive and the legislator to find a lasting solution on the problem. And we do hope that their coming will provide a solution for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And turning to the information sector, the role of the broadcast industry is key in the successful fight against corruption. This was the outcome of a one-day national dialogue on corruption held in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports that the forum was organized by the Column Media outfit. We'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletins or in the course of this bulletin. Now, the role of the media in the development of language and humanity took center stage as broadcasters and administrators gather to celebrate the 60th anniversary of BBC Hausa service. Suleiman Ibrahim Ahmed reports that speakers at the Yaradua Center, venue of the occasion, extolled the virtues of BBC Hausa service in entrenching democracy and good governance in Nigeria. The report.
Speakers at the public lecture extolled the revolutionary contribution of the station in shaping opinions among the grassroots people of Nigeria and setting agenda for the political class. The Speaker, House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, and the Governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, spoke on how BBC Hausa service has become an integral part of lives of Hausa speakers in Nigeria, Niger Republic, Ghana, Cameroon, and even outside the continent. They said the Hausa service has become a dependable school for Hausa speaker because of its objectivity, timeliness, and dynamism.
The depth of the Hausa language has been cultivated by far by the BBC Hausa service than any other modern platform that we have.
The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Albright, expressed happiness over the ability of BBC to feel the hunger for a balanced, objective and well-informed broadcast among Hausa-speaking people of Africa. The Director General, NTA Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, represented by the Director of News, Aliyu Bababaro, were full of praises for the role of the BBC Hausa service in the life of the Nigerian nation.
Indeed, it provides a lifeline for poor rural communities that are not reached by other media.
BBC has developed a culture of viewership today.
Papers on the role of media in the development of language were presented by Professor Abdullah Uba Ado of the Department of Mass Communication, National Open University, and Professor Umar Pate, Dean, Faculty of Communication, Bayero University, Kano. In Abuja, Suleiman Ibrahim Ahmed, NTA News.
We're going back to the story on the role of the media in the development of language and humanity, which took center stage as broadcasters and administrators gather to celebrate the 60th anniversary of BBC Hausa service. Suleiman Ibrahim Ahmed reports that speakers at the Yaradua Center, venue of
the media, aside from educating, informing and entertaining, it also acts as watchdog to protect public interests against corruption. Experts in the industry converge to brainstorm on how to live to expectation of the society in the fight against corruption. Keynote speaker, The Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, represented by the Executive Director Program, Eugenia Abu, said NTA is alive to its responsibilities in all ramifications, especially in the areas of programs aimed at educating the public on corruption.
And if we tell ourselves as individuals that we can change our nation, we will change our nation, because we are strong as our weakest link. And our weakest link are those people who ensure that wherever you go, Nigeria is put under.
The managing director of the column publisher, Chuks Akamadu, speaks on the vision of the establishment.
For us, it is by each stakeholder taking up specific responsibilities in this regard, so that the nation can win the war against corruption.
On the roles of lawmakers, Chairman House Committee on Civil Society Organizations and Development Partners admits more has to be done in the fight against corruption.
You have to apply law the same way to everybody. Otherwise, you are corrupt.
The column online publisher was set up in October 1st, 2016 to encourage citizens to put the nation first. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Yes, Adebola Brooklyn there reporting on the role of the media in the fight against corruption. Now, foreign direct investment, trade balance in favor of Nigeria, and the safety and security of all Nigerians wherever in the world are some of the key components of Nigeria's foreign policy thrust before the second batch of non-career ambassadors designate as they are inducted in Abuja. Gabriel Odu reports.
The induction course is structured to fully engage the ambassadors designate on their roles, duties, and responsibilities.
For us, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are confident that the future of Nigerian diplomacy and foreign policy is safe and secure in your hands.
Chairman House Committee on Foreign Affairs, Nana Elendo Okeje, told inductees to brace up for serious diplomatic engagements.
Again, it is often said that a diplomat is that person who can juggle a hot potato long enough for it to become a cold issue. That said, I wish you all happy juggling.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema is convinced that the ambassadors designate will do well in their various assignments.
As ambassadors, you of course carry with you the mandate of Mr. President. You'll be his eyes and his ears in the various countries in which you will be serving. And this is in addition to engaging fruitfully with foreign governments and envoys.
The induction course is to last 5 days.
In a bid to consolidate on the successes recorded during the 2016 Hajj operations, the National Hajj Commission has convened a meeting with licensed tour operators to map out strategies for improved 2017 Hajj operations. The two parties brainstormed on the way forward at the meeting, which took place at the National Mosque, Abuja. Ilyasu Aliyakubu reports.
The activities of the tour operators and suggested amendment in some grey areas for improved 2017 Hajj operations. Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad, emphasized the need for the tour operators to key into the new improved strategies for a hitch-free 2017 Hajj exercise.
All operators are once again enjoined to abide by rules and legitimize their businesses.
We have embarked in Saudi Arabia to make sure the previous activities of agents upon agents are being eliminated.
President, Hajj and Umrah operators Abdul Fattah Abdul Majid commended NACOM for living up to its responsibility of ensuring a hitch-free Hajj operation and promised to complement the effort of the Commission in actualizing a hitch-free exercise.
An appeal to the federal government also, there is the need for a bilateral trade agreement between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, because today the money we send to Saudi Arabia is kept in friends' accounts. You cannot open an account in your name.
It is expected that early commencement of planning and review of the Hajj operation will give the Commission a better outlook for improved exercise. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Stay tuned for more reports after the break.
Government is very nice. So I'm very happy for Ife government. This first day in the state. Thank God for you, more government. They've been trying and they should keep it up.
The mistakes people can now move freely. And a big thank you to the government, to the people that endorsed this, that brought this to us.
This is a rescue mission project. Invest in Emo. The Emo Rescue Mission. Emo must be done. NTA International News. Africa as it is.
The federal government, in partnership with International Fund for Agricultural Development, has developed a strategy towards improving the quality of rice produced in Nigeria. To this end, farmers and extension services providers from 6 rice-producing states are undergoing training on rice cultivation using irrigation system of farming. Musa Babali reports.
The federal government planned to end the importation of rice by the end of this year, for the country to become one of the major exporters of the produce in the next 2 to 3 years. This is to be achieved through the production and supply of high-quality seeds and inputs, as well as adoption of best agricultural practices in cultivation and processing, especially milling. The Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, says the government is supplying 200 rice milling machines to support the initiative.
We develop the market through publicity, but also cut down on excessive importation. It doesn't sound very popular with some people. We just have to produce, eat what we know.
IFAD is introducing new and simple farming techniques to rice farmers in 6 rice-producing states as part of efforts to support the government to achieve its plans. Niger State is one of the states that is benefiting from the IFAD project, and farmers in other 5 states took a tour of rice farms in the state to learn the technology.
They are beginning to, in the whole year, produce 3 times a year.
Look at the rice here. This is not plastic rice. This is natural rice, compared to what is coming out from other sources.
Rice cultivation with irrigation system, milling and storage are the focus.
Niger that has this great potential, which is far more than most states, should take cognizance of that and use the opportunity to engage their youth and improve the production of rice, because the demand is there.
We are assuring the farmers, produce as much as you can. There will be off-takers to buy off all the rice.
Niger State is among the largest rice-producing states in Nigeria, producing over 150 million metric tons annually. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now for some happenings in the world of business, here is Solanka Ojo.
Welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the grant of a wholesale development finance institution license with national authorization to the Development Bank of Nigeria. Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, who said this, noted that the approval is subject to meeting the minimum capital requirements of 100 billion naira and the reconstitution of the board of the bank and reviewing the organogram. The Development Bank of Nigeria was conceived in 2014. However, its takeoff had been fraught with delays. The President, Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, inherited the project with the determination to resolve all outstanding issues and set a target of 2017 for its takeoff. Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Udo Udoma, has urged Japanese companies to take advantage of various business opportunities that will be presented by the special economic zones being established in various parts of the country. The zones, which will serve as manufacturing hub, will have necessary infrastructural facilities to support the country's industrialization drive. Let's now take a quick check on how the equities market fared this Thursday. And that does it on the business segment of the news. I am Olayinka Ojo. The news continues.
Still talking money, the recent gains of the naira over the dollar has been attributed to the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in pushing dollars into the forex market. While analyzing the developments, financial and economic experts on Good Morning Nigeria described it as a welcome idea that needs to be sustained. Abdul Malik Adio reports.
In continuation of efforts to increase the availability of foreign exchange to ease the difficulties encountered by Nigerians in obtaining funds for foreign exchange transactions, guests on the program say providing direct additional funding to banks is a right step in the right direction.
What the results you see comes from months of study and monitoring, and our aim is to ensure that we make the rates gravitate and to meet downwards and to meet the international market rate.
I'm happy that at least recent the CBN has come up with a resolve to deal with this rascality.
Even as the Central Bank of Nigeria has been commended for its intervention at the foreign exchange market, the need to eliminate the multiple rate in the market continues to generate concern.
We can ensure that our policies are consistent and they are transparent and everybody can know what exactly we are doing as a policy.
A backwards integration situation where our demand for forex will continue to go down.
The discussant noted that the move will cross speculators in the market and ensure that genuine foreign exchange seekers have access to foreign currency with ease. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Adio, NTA News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has condemned the forceful return of Nigerian refugees from Cameroon, which it said is against international laws. The Federal Commissioner, Hajj Sadiya Umar Farouk, in a statement said, it is unfortunate that Cameroon has continued forceful return of Nigerian refugees even after signing the tripartite agreement with Nigeria and the United Nations, which seeks to ensure safety, proper handling, as well as voluntary return of Nigerian refugees who are in that country following Boko Haram crisis. She said that the parties agreed to provide people wishing to return with clear information on the situation prevailing in their areas of return in order to make a well-informed and voluntary decision. The Federal Commissioner urged Cameroon to respect and observe the international protection principles, while restating the commitment of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons to the protection of its persons of concern. The Federal Commissioner also expressed readiness to facilitate their return in safety and dignity. Over now to Uche Nwizu for stories from other parts of the globe.
Ethiopia's parliament has voted to extend the country's state of emergency for another 4 months. This comes after the defense minister reported that some anti-peace forces were still at large. Opposition and rights groups, however, condemned the act, which they described as a crash to legitimate dissent in the country. Security sources in Germany say the country has deported 10 potential attackers since January as part of a tougher approach towards failed asylum seekers and other foreigners it deemed dangerous, after one of them killed 12 people at a Berlin market. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has confirmed that the country is set to cut $2 million from its United Nations dues in response to anti-Israel resolutions passed by the UN Human Rights Council. And from Malaysia comes a report that the body of the half-brother of North Korea's leader Kim Jong-nam has been released in a deal ending the diplomatic disputes between Malaysia and North Korea occasioned by his assassination. Mr. Kim was murdered at Kuala Lumpur Airport with 11 NEF agents last month. Uche Nwizu, NTA News.
Nigeria is set to receive Queen's Baton Relay in Lagos as the country's bobsleigh